So the first area of expertise that we have created is go-to-market audit and alignment. Secondary, we have created an M&A due diligence capability, which allows us to get involved at the preliminary due diligence stage, clearly operating with an appropriate level of disclosure. So, clearly there is no guarantee when an organization, a private equity firm or an organization that looks to buy a competitor or augment their proposition by buying another third-party business, at that point that a letter of intent is signed and arguably you move into a period of exclusivity, there is no guarantee that that transaction will complete. But I would argue that there is still an opportunity at an appropriate level of disclosure to start the revenue synergies go-to-market due diligence. And really at that point, what you're doing is informing what are the integration priorities, excuse me, what are the integration priorities if this transaction does complete? How do we intend to engage both sides of the transaction? How do we want to ensure that as we put these businesses together, we retain an enduring capability that is made up of the best of both? I think we've probably all heard the phrase, can I remind you this is an acquisition, not a merger? And for me, that just smacks of ego at play. There is a reason why to the buy side, the sell side is of interest, and actually just simply consuming that organization into the business just to grow your top line, I think is leaving value on the table. So we engage at that letter of intent stage. We do a relatively rapid scan around go-to-market and revenue synergy due diligence. We then inform and design what the integration priorities are for those businesses. That includes things like product market fit. So actually how, bringing the organizations together, what has that done to the product market fit, to the portfolio of capability that you now are in a position to take to market? We look at message market fit. We look at ideal customer profiles. We look at talent. And actually, where is the talent in the two organizations? And how can we put tiger teams together to set the tone and tempo for the way forwards in terms of the organic growth journey of the new expanded business? I think it's no surprise that in the 12 to 18 months post a transaction like a merger or an acquisition, there is so much focus on trying to resolve the internal ambiguity, the chaos that exists, that actually it's very unusual for a business to grow organically its top line in the 12 to 18 months after a transaction. We can fundamentally address that challenge. We can overcome talent scarcity or the propensity for people, particularly on the sales side, to not know where they belong in the new organization, which often results in the best people leaving the business. So out of that, we start to operationalize a third dimension of our business, which is tiger teams. I think this is often referred to as fractional roles. The first instinct is to look internally within the expanded organization relative to mapping the North Star, relative to mapping the go-to-market strategy. Where is the talent? Where is the expertise? Where are the cheerleaders in both businesses that can help us define and set the tone and tempo for the new brand for the rest of their colleagues? So bringing tiger teams together and pointing them in the same direction around strategic pursuits. In and around tiger teams, we will often find that there are talent gaps. So we can augment in-house capability with third party from a rich global network of trusted advisors, trusted associates that we can bring in on flexible terms to augment the tiger teams or augment the talent to enable the business to get to that next step faster and realize its growth journey. And then the fourth aspect of this is in a really interesting space, or certainly a space that I find very interesting, particularly in a world where the cost of cash is quite expensive. The marketplace that I come from in BPO and CX, multiples are down. It's not unusual for BPOs to have ridden the wave of the COVID era, where their businesses grew through 2021. They then suffered or had very difficult trading period through 2022. Lots of them had made an investment to grow their business, so they were carrying redundant capacity, they were carrying costs that they couldn't recover. So 2022 in the BPO market became very difficult. EBITDA was down. I think through 2023, arguably EBITDA has started to recover, but multiples are still down. So for a lot of BPOs, now isn't the right time to sell or to bring private equity or attract private equity investment on their own terms. But there's a world of venturing. So companies like Form 1 Partners, for example, who are working very hard to create this ventures proposition. So if you think of that as a triangle, at the tip of the triangle, they and others have gone out and they have assembled some of the most disruptive, progressive CX tech scale-up businesses. They are connecting them with influencers in the marketplace who can then make that connection into their corporate sponsors. So that is BPOs that are looking to augment their own proposition, BPOs that are looking to diversify their revenue mix beyond the core contact center operations to stand up more technology or managed services or infrastructure. So, yes, of course, you can acquire that capability, but you can also venture your way there without the full exposure or risk of the capital investment that goes into an acquisition. So they're the predominant areas that my business is focused on.